Real estate mogul Donald Trump, commonly known as the Donald, has only been in the clown car for the Republican presidential nomination for half a month now, but he's already spending more time running his mouth and trying to draw media attention to himself than advocating for anything that would make America a better place to live. Very early on in his presidential campaign, the Donald proved that even a stop clock, the kind of stop clock that Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Clayfish is bizarrely worried that people might try to have sex with, as marriage equality is now law of the land, is right twice a day when he stated that Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, himself a likely Republican presidential candidate, has a lot of problems in Wisconsin, referring to Wisconsin's severe budget deficit and his growing unpopularity in his home state. That gave Wisconsin Democrats a lot of political ammunition to attack Walker over his failed policies and the Republicans' draconian state budget in Wisconsin, with Chris Taylor, a Democratic Wisconsin state representative and a wonderful progressive, invoking the name of the Donald by saying, "Turn on the TV or open up the paper. Families across Wisconsin are fed up. If Republicans don't find some courage to stand up to the governor, fix this budget, and do what's right, Wisconsinites will be taking a page out of Mr. Trump's playbook and telling them, you're fired." More recently, the Donald has resorted to threats and intimidation against one of the largest English-language television networks in the United States, NBC, and one of the largest Spanish-language television networks in the United States, Univision. NBC recently told the Donald, "You're fired," by telling the Donald that the Miss USA, Miss Universe beauty pageants won't be televised on NBC any longer over the Donald's offensive remarks claiming that immigrants from Mexico are bringing drugs, bringing crime, and are rapists. In reality, few immigrants who come from Mexico are drug dealers, criminals, and or rapists. The Donald's oversized ego is obviously bruised because of this, and he's threatening to sue NBC for dropping his misogynistic beauty pageants from their airwaves. Not long before NBC cut ties with the Donald, Univision dropped the Donald's beauty pageants from their airwaves, which prompted the Donald to, among other things, prohibit Univision employees from using his golf courses and other facilities at Doral, Florida, and imply that the Mexican government owns Univision, which is not true. If the Donald is willing to use threats and intimidation in the business world to get his way, he will do the same thing if elected president. Trump's vindictive attitude reminds me a lot of the vindictive attitudes of Richard Nixon and several of the Donald's opponents and potential opponents for the Republican presidential nomination. America cannot afford another vindictive right-wing president. That's why I support Bernie Sanders for the Democratic presidential nomination. Bernie's for the people, not the billionaires. Bernie supports common-sense gun safety measures like background checks and closing the gun show loophole, raising the minimum wage, raising income taxes on the wealthiest Americans, rebuilding our nation's infrastructure, protecting and expanding the social safety net, protecting our environment, getting big money out of politics, and putting Americans back to work. More importantly, Bernie is building a broad coalition of Democrats, independents, and even Republicans in his bid to win the presidency.